any of your tough love is part of the reason why these girls know? I mean, I feel like they all advocate for themselves. They've all, like you said, they're the ones running their businesses.
Well, I think they knew I started my competition team at 14. That's ingrained in their heads. And they learned a lot how to put a show on. Some of them were actually in my recital or dance concerts in Pittsburgh back in the day when we were shooting some of the early seasons. They learned how to do it. You know, you need your red, white, and blue All-American number. You need your sassy jazz number. You need to slow it down. You know, JoJo sat at the piano. She slowed the whole room down. You need to do that within a show. And those kids learned that. And they learned a lot, from table manners that JoJo mentioned last night to just etiquette. When you walk into a room and you introduce yourself, you look somebody in the eye, you shake their hand firmly. You want to make sure they know your name. And that's with everything. You only get one first impression in life. And I taught those kids that. So every time JoJo walks into that room at Nick or whoever, and she walks in and she's like, I want this, or I need a bigger budget, or I want to do a new song, she's in charge of that meeting. And I love that. And I love that I played a role in her life. Yes.
That's incredible. Going back to...
If you say one more time.
Oh, and now I'm getting the Abby Lee Miller treatment.
I didn't say it the first 3 times, but I had to say it. Go ahead.
So going back to the past few years for you, I mean, you still, through everything, have been in the public eye.
That's good.
Which is not new to you. You have been.
I was always a star in my own life, you know, or my own world, my own mind, even when I was a little kid. So
what did it feel like, though, when you were going through more hard times, more difficult times?
Well, it was horrible. Horrible. It was, some of it wasn't funny, but now that I look back on it, and my attorneys in Pittsburgh would say, does this suit look all right? You think this suit's okay for court today? Like, there's going to be cameras. There's going to be... So they were a little tense because they don't live in that world. They're criminal defense attorneys. They're in Pittsburgh. You know, that's not... They were crazy when...
They wanted to make sure they were looking
good for camera. Yes. And so instead of them telling the client what to wear to court, I was telling them what to wear to court. And, you know, it was a strange thing. And I could talk for days about our prison reform system. Can Kim Kardashian call me, please? Please. Can someone get a message to her? I have so much to tell her. It is absolutely insane. And I don't want to bore your audience with all that, but, you know,
what would
you can see what I pay in taxes when I'm working and I'm out in the world. And then when you go there, you make 27 cents an hour. And I didn't even get that. I just donated it back. So it's crazy. You know, I laid in the sun. I read 150 books. I lost 127 pounds that I gained back sitting in this chair. You get to work on yourself. You do. I would never have lost that weight outside in the public because I'm running and working, and unless you have a private chef. And the food was so bad. It was disgusting. And, you know, I exercised what I could I had a bad knee. So, you know, it is what it is. But there's a lot of post-traumatic stress disorder. I didn't fight in a war like my dad did, and I didn't go through what other people have gone through, but I hear somebody with keys or a door slam, and I just jump out of my skin because you just never know. And it wasn't the girls. The girls were wonderful, the women, I should say, that I met, some of the most intelligent, kind people. You know, when I first got there, they didn't have shoes. It was just this whole rigmarole. And somebody who had been in there for years and years and years took her brand new shoes that she had worked so hard for to earn the money to buy, to order these shoes, and waited for months for them to come in, took them right off her feet and gave them to me. And I thought to myself, you know, there is not one of those dance moms from that original cast that would give me a dime, let alone the shoes off their own feet. And here's a perfect stranger, you know? And they were wonderful, yeah. The guards, not so much.
Well, I know you've been very open about your experience there, and now...
You want names?
And now I'm sure people are also asking you a million times, because we know some other big names.
Yes.
That will be headed in that direction.
Yeah, but it's different because a guard literally said to me, "You're not going to talk." I didn't even say anything to her. I was just passing. What did you say? You're not going to talk to me like you talk to those kids on TV. Like, they couldn't separate reality TV show from me being there. Mm-hmm. It was awful. But some of those women are on great shows that we loved, and they're entertaining, and they're real actresses. It wasn't reality. So they're going to ask them, what's it like to live with John Stamos? What's it like to, all those things. And they're going to have a million best friends. Felicity's going to be there just enough time to get all the material she needs for a fabulous movie.
Well, I was going to say, even you looking back at it, you seem to reflect on it fondly.
No, I don't. Of course, the doctor there took me off of my thyroid medication and my diabetes medication cold turkey.
Yeah.
Look at the result. Look at what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, what is that quote? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Mm-hmm. I was out 2 months later, and 5 days went by, and I had a pain in my neck and was paralyzed from the neck down. 10 days later. So something went wrong in my body. And the big misdiagnosis, or whatever you want to call it, is that I was in a thyroid storm because my blood work was so crazy, so erratic. And if they would have just done their jobs, let's say, they would have found out it was cancer and a very rare form, Burkitt lymphoma.
Maybe we should connect you with Kim Kardashian.
I think so.
How do we make that happen?
I'll forgive you all your if you make that happen.
I'll do what I can. There we go. But now, after the fact, after being in prison, after your diagnosis, have people treated you differently? No.
I think I've changed in a way that I say thank you a million times a day. I could have been an advocate for women in prison. That was my goal. I came out of prison 127 pounds lighter, tan, healthy, my teeth, you can brush your teeth for 45 minutes a day. It was fabulous. And then I was ready to set the world on fire. I was going to have a nip and a tuck and a this and a that, and I was ready to go and live the life that I never got to live for myself instead of somebody else's child. And then I got a pain in the neck, and all just spiraled out of control. So, I think that now I can be an advocate for people in a wheelchair. You have no idea what it's like to pull up to a door of a hotel that has told you 100 times that they are handicap accessible, and you can't figure out how to get in. We were in a hotel in London, and I had to go around a back alley that was closed off. I had to get in this little metal crate and go up, and then you needed a key to make it work and a key to get in the door, but the key was in the hotel, and there were steps up the front. It was absolutely impossible, and how they can advertise that they're handicap accessible when they're not. Mm-hmm. Just the streets in LA, I'm wheeling down the sidewalk, and the trees have roots that have crumbled the sidewalk. It's ridiculous. And you have to stop, turn around, go all the way back to the end, drop off the curb, cross the street, and go on the other side, and then you hit the same thing. So I never realized how difficult it is for people that are handicapped. And I have more than a new respect. It's compassion. It's horrible, and our country needs to do more about it. The whole ADA thing is very, sketchy.
Well, I love how you've also used your social media you're very real on there, and you show what it takes and what you go through in terms of physical therapy and taking steps and doing different workouts and everything to rehabilitate yourself. What kind of response have you gotten to that?
I think the response has been good. It's exciting, but every day is different. I can go in one day and I've walked up to 50 steps with a walker. Mm-hmm. And the next day, and it's hard to take 2 steps. Mm-hmm. It just depends on your body and day, the time of the day, you know, what happened before you got there, what's going to happen that evening. It's crazy. I just know that I know in my heart and I know in my brain, if one of the 6 doctors I went to previously in this 10-day, you know, time frame, if they would have just done their jobs, I wouldn't be in this wheelchair, because they would have caught the cancer. They would have started the chemo before the infection choked my spinal cord. That's what happened. I laid there. My friend is here today. She sat in that hospital room, walked by and say, "It's not our patient. Oh, that's not our patient. Sorry." Come in and put the tray of food 20 feet away from me. Thinking, how is she going to get that? How do you expect her to eat that? It's ridiculous.
It's crazy. But
Yeah,
I mean,
the healthcare system has to change. The prison system has to change. The healthcare system has to change. And our society for handicapped people has to change.
definitely. And
Yes.
you're using your voice to do that. So hopefully some change will
Hopefully. I do. I hope to be able to help people in the future. And I know that I can help kids achieve their dreams. I know I can help kids become better dancers, better singers, better actors. I can do that. That's done. That's it. I can do that. All right? Let's try to help some other people that need it.